Welcome to episode 54 of the Tay and Tristan Hour. I was just testing the microphone.
I didn't know you were recording that.
Yeah, that was just my little microphone test performance. So there you go.
Yes. Had a really good ring to it.
Didn't it?
It actually did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm good.
It wasn't too bad.
I'm good at coming up with beats and melodies.
You are.
Yeah.
You should like be a we're always messing with the arms of these. I told you, man, I'm gonna get like microphone stands. I can't do these arms anymore. It just like is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
Because I need to have something that's like behind me, and like this thing is always in my face whenever I look back at the video.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I don't know why it does it.
Speaking of arms, do you ever forget to put deodorant on when you go out?
I have, but not usually, no.
Let me make sure the phone is recording. Hold on a second.
Watch it not be recording.
No, I just have to make sure.
See, whenever we were recording on my phone, I would always be like, is it recording? And I would make you check it like 3 or 4 times. And he's like, yes, it is. Yes, it is. So now you know. Now you're like me. You're so much like me. It's ridiculous. I'm sorry. That's like ridiculous.
That's fine.
You just have bad genes.
That's fine. Don't say that.
That's bad genes. Poor kid.
But this morning I forgot to put deodorant on. That's the most annoying thing when you forget to put deodorant on.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is pretty bad. Yeah.
Because I got to work and I'm like, oh crap, because I was rushing this morning because I was running late because I won't say why, but
we probably don't want to know why.
But
I don't want to know why.
But okay. Thankfully I keep some deodorant in my car.
Oh,
so,
that's cool. Yeah. I think we should always keep deodorant, something to air freshener or some kind of perfume or spray. I know a lot of girls like carry. I always have something I can spritz in my car, and lotion. Did I already say lotion? Lotion.
No.
Lotion, deodorant, hand sanitizer, and something to spray.
Wipes.
Hand wipes, yes.
Yeah.
Always some sandy wipes in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And a miniature first aid kit.
Yeah, that too.
You never know when you're going to need something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And always have a spare and a jack in your car.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to buy.
Yeah, I do.
Because he does not have one.
I do.
Yeah.
I'll get one.
And a can of Fix-A-Flat.
Yeah. But at least I have the deodorant. That's all that matters.
Yes.
This morning.
I have been married to a man that makes sure that you have all that stuff in your car. Need to have like a survival kit in your car at all times. You just never know what can happen.
Yeah. Never know when you're going to have BO.
Oh, gosh. Well, there's something between with like underarm odor and BO. Like, I think those are two separate things.
I guess. Well, no, but they're not.
No,
BO means body odor.
Well,
that's what it is.
I compartmentalize them. So then, like, there's underarm odor, which is different than BO.
Yeah, it's not.
But it is.
Well, I guess BO. But when people think of BO, they think of like your underarms.
No, there's a difference.
Generally,
there's a difference between pit odor and body odor.
Yeah, butt odor.
Yeah,
that could also be BO butt odor.
Yeah, yes, exactly. There's a huge difference.
Yeah,
there's a difference. Pit odor has like its own smell.
Yeah, it's got a distinct.
It has a
scent.
distinct odor from like body odor.
Yeah. Butt odor has a distinct smell. Also.
Yeah, butt odor does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah. You can always tell when someone didn't.
There's a difference. Hence why you probably need the sandy wipes.
Yeah.
Or baby wipes, whatever.
Something.
You need to have in your car. You just don't know.
I remember a few times when I was in high school, there was a few times I forgot to put deodorant on. And that's when it's like really bad. The BO's really bad.
Yeah.
And you don't want all the girls like smelling you, and, like you just
They'd be
smell
like,
like. Yeah.
ew, Tristan, why do you
So
smell like that?
so what I did a couple times is I went to the bathroom and rubbed hand soap under my under my arms and just like washed my underarms with it.
Okay, well, you washed up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I don't think it did much.
Well, when you're like, but there's sometimes people have it so bad, like they have underarm odor so bad that they have to use like the clinical deodorant.
Yeah,
They sell it in Walmart and any other store, but yeah, it's so bad. Like regular deodorant just
they
does
sell
not.
clinical deodorant at the store.
Yes, they do. They do. They sell it at Walmart. So like if it's so bad, yeah, they'll yeah, like regular deodorant does not do it. It doesn't cover the
Well, yeah,
odor.
for some people.
For some
yeah.
people, it's so bad. Yeah. Which I'm glad that they make that.
Yeah.
That way they're not insecure, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, it's nothing bad. It's just, I'm glad that they think of people that have really bad underarm odor.
Yeah.
But I have gone out without it. And you do feel like really like insecure.
Just feel dirty. Just feel dirty.
I don't feel dirty. I don't know about you. That's
I
you.
feel dirty. I feel dirty.
That's you, man.
Yeah.
I don't feel dirty. I just feel like, damn. It's like forgetting my phone.
Really? It's like that?
Yeah. It's like, crap, man.
Yeah, it is kind of like that,
I
actually.
feel like
yeah.
lost.
But I'm just
I
thinking.
don't have
I'm
my-
just thinking the whole time, like if somebody's gonna smell me, and
yeah,
then
you feel insecure.
and then tell somebody
Yeah.
else, like, did you smell that when he walked by? Oh my god.
Yeah, you feel insecure.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I try not to. It's the same thing as like I never leave the house without brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
I don't want to have bad breath out there.
No, of course not.
So you never want to leave the house without deodorant, and you never want to leave the house without brushing your teeth.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, neither one of those things.
When I used to work with somebody, when I worked at the neighborhood market, he was this big guy. He had long hair, but he was kind of balding, big beard, just this big guy. But he always smelled really bad. So he was
Some
a nice
people
guy.
can't help it.
He was a good guy for the most part, but he just smelled. And I remember one day we were like having a meeting or something. Or we were like meeting in an aisle for some reason.
Yeah.
And another lady that worked there, she comes up and says, "Why does it smell like dirty ass over here?"
Oh my gosh, that's so mean.
I know. But I don't think she was like targeting him, but like you could smell, like it was very obvious that there was an odor lingering.
Yeah.
And she just walked up. It was
Oh my
so
gosh,
crazy.
that's so mean.
She
though.
just walked up and was like, "Why does it smell like dirty ass over here?"
That's so mean. That's so mean.
Yeah, I couldn't believe
that's
it.
mean to him.
Yeah. I think he did.
I'd have been like mad if somebody said that.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, like somebody's got to let him know, right?
Oh my gosh. But maybe he's not thinking that it's him.
Maybe.
You know, he might be like, I don't know, maybe it's you.
But I think after that,
You know?
I think after that day, he actually didn't smell as bad. I think.
Yeah.
I think he took it to heart.
I don't know. It's really hard. Like, how do you tell somebody that they have bad odor?
Me, I would not tell a stranger. I couldn't, even like yeah, I couldn't do that. Even if it's somebody I worked with. Maybe if we were like really close friends.
Did you tell a family member? Like, would you tell me if I have bad odor?
I don't know. I'm just so afraid to hurt people's feelings.
But you would
I
let
don't
me
know.
walk out the house stinking?
I don't know.
You would let me walk out the house smelling bad?
I don't want to hurt people's feelings, so I won't say like certain things sometimes. But I don't know.
Okay, I'm
It
your
depends.
mother, and I'm your mother, and I don't smell very good. I just hypothetical. I smell good tonight. But hypothetically, like I don't I have, strong underarm odor. I'm sweaty, I stink. And I'm like, hey, I'm gonna go out tonight. And you would let me go. You wouldn't say, Mom, Mom, you're smelling a little strong.
No, maybe I'd probably tell you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You sound like you hesitated in the beginning. You were
I've
like,
told
I
you.
don't know.
I've told you before when you had coffee breath. Coffee breath is
You
bad.
did.
Yeah.
You did tell me that.
I've told you that before.
What did I probably said, shut up, boy.
I don't know.
But I wasn't going anywhere. I was here at home.
No. Yeah.
I don't know if you told me directly. I think we may have been talking about that on the podcast. You said coffee breath was really bad. You said I have
Yeah,
coffee
you've had bad coffee breath. I
Brett,
smelled it.
You never, but you've never said anything.
No, I think I
before.
did one time.
I don't think you did. You said you don't drink coffee because it gives you bad breath. You've never said, Mom, you've had like really bad breath. Like,
Well, you have had really bad coffee
okay,
breath.
now he
yeah.
tells me. Yeah, now you tell me.
I'm saying I haven't, not recently that I know of. I'm just saying.
Gosh.
I'm just saying in the past I've
It's
noticed
so ridiculous.
That's all.
Yeah, I think you're right though. I think people are like, but I think that people are just uncomfortable with telling somebody that they have bad breath
Some
or bad
people are.
odor, but
Like
some
that-
people
like
are
that
not.
lady, like that
Yeah.
lady that worked at the store. She didn't care
But
at all.
she didn't tell him directly. She just said it.
No, but still, that was
She
crazy.
said it just like, "Oh my gosh, it just stinks in here." You know, she said it like indirectly. you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, kind of.
I think that if you're gonna say something, like you should, like if there's other people around, like you should just pull the person aside and be like, "Hey."
Yeah.
I worked with some people, like years ago, and they're one of the I had to tell this person, I was like, you have to tell this other person who works under you that like he
They
needs
stink.
to clean up. Yeah, like he needs to clean up his area, and she did not want to tell.
Oh wait, his area? You mean his working area? Or
Yeah,
what?
like him.
Oh.
Because he was seeing people, and so like she had to tell him that. And that's a good thing about whenever you're like a boss of somebody, you get to delegate.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it. That's one of the things I did love about being a director.
Yeah.
It's fun. But like we were like, no, you have to tell him. I was like, I don't have to tell him. You're gonna tell him. And so, but she did, like, how do you address that without hurting somebody's feelings? And it's like, hey, maybe you need to, you can't say like, hey, you need to wear some like cologne or something, cause
Yeah.
I'm like, no, it's like, dude, you need to be, it's just saying like you need to have better hygiene.
Yeah. It's unavoidable.
It's unavoidable. And then I think sometimes you have to have those, you just have to come out and tell them. And it's all about how that person's going to take it.
Mhm.
It's not, I don't think you say those things to hurt them. It's just like, dude, like you stink.
Yeah.
It's just like, what did you say on one of our podcast episodes? You said, people out there wash your crack because some of you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, some people just need to wash it.
Yeah.
Or, don't put cologne on over funk. Because
Well,
that makes it worse.
No, sometimes that works.
No, it means you're musky. You're musky whenever that happens. So don't do that.
Yeah.
You think you smell good. The cologne smells good. But when you mix good smelling cologne with BO, it does not, those two clash.
Yeah.
They don't mix well.
Yeah, you're right.
So just that little tidbit. Okay.
But sometimes I feel bad for people because, like, I've been in the store before.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it was a whole family of BO.
I think you told me this story.
Yeah. And, I mean, it was probably like 4 or 5 people.
Yeah.
Or maybe like 4, like a mom and dad and 2 kids.
Yeah, you told me this.
And that you could tell that they're like, I don't want to say they looked poor, but I'm saying like you can tell when someone maybe doesn't have a lot. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like you
yes,
could tell.
Yeah.
And they all just smell. I mean, it was really bad.
Yeah. Maybe they don't have enough
But yeah, you start to feel bad.
money.
Like, yeah. Like,
but maybe they don't have. Sometimes people don't have running water.
yeah.
And it's not that they want to be that way. Maybe they don't have access to things.
Yeah.
Like if people can't, sometimes you have to look at sometimes I think we have to look past just like the smell. Like there's certain things we take for granted, right? Like we have running water, hot water, things like that. There's people that have to decide if they're poor, they have to decide, am I going to eat or am I going to have water?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe it was shut off and they can't bathe and they have to use the wipes and stuff. And that doesn't clean you like you want to be cleaned. You know what I'm saying? So you're still going to have an odor, or maybe they go a few days and they have to conserve water. Maybe they don't take showers every day. I mean,
Yeah.
there's just, you don't know what somebody's situation is. That's how I look at it. There's individuals like that.
Yeah.
And then there's just people who just don't wash.
Yeah, and there's people that just
I
don't
mean,
care.
Yeah, there's people who
Yeah.
just don't care. So you just kind of have to, you just don't know,
This
so.
is why they need to bring back public bathhouses.
You think so?
Like the medieval times, yeah.
For people who can't afford.
I'm sure they have bathhouses still, don't they?
Yeah, but those bathhouses are a different type of bathhouses.
Well, yeah, a lot of them.
Yeah, those bathhouses are different.
Yeah.
They have them, but
Specific archetype of
they're
person
not,
goes there.
They're not for people who want to go get clean.
Yeah, they're getting dirty.
Yeah.
At the bathhouse.
Oh my gosh. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, this is my child.
I don't know if that's a stereotype or not. I don't know.
I think it is. It is, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But I get the bathhouses you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I get that. Maybe they should, to help those that are poor and in need.
Yeah, I think they should.
But yeah, people would look at that now as unsanitary. Oh my gosh, you can't go into. People don't even want to use a public restroom.
Yeah.
People don't even want to use public restrooms. So people are not going to want to use a public bathhouse, that's for sure.
Yeah, I guess so.
Not the
It
way
probably wouldn't
the
be-
way the world is now. Like, it would not.
It probably wouldn't be too popular.
No, it wouldn't. They'd be like, ew.
Unless it was like some kind of high class, like membership only kind of thing.
That's what gets me, because that is a stereotype. Like, if it's high class, then it's okay. It's still an outdoor bath thing.
Well, no, it wouldn't be outdoors. It's in a be in a building.
It doesn't.
A bathhouse.
It's still a bathhouse. It wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
It's still, but if it's ritzy and well-to-do, then it's okay. That's a stereotype. It's just like it means just because it's up here, it's better. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
I tell you, rich people are probably more nasty than poor people. Just saying.
Well, maybe.
No.
I've heard a lot of rich people say they don't use washcloths
exactly
or anything to scrub.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly. That's
just use their hands.
Exactly. Exactly what I'm saying.
That's crazy. A lot of people think that that's poor, using like
washcloths.
Yeah.
No, that means you scrub. No, you're supposed to scrub.
Yeah.
You are supposed to. No, they're like, I'm gonna use a loofah. Now scrub with a rag.
Well, I use a loofah, but I also use.
I use a rag. Why do you think they make washcloths? So I use a washcloth and I use a loofah.
Yeah.
You can use both. It's not.
That's what I was gonna say. I use a loofah, and I also have. It's not a rag, but it's like this exfoliating, like like a sponge kind of. I guess that it has a rough side and a smooth side, and the rough side's kind of more like a rag.
Right.
And I use that.
That's what I'm saying. So I mean, it's just I got a text. Okay. It's just that I have seen. I don't like people who, I think it's weird if people just use the soap to wash with. It's like, listen, especially if you're like other people are in the home, it's like other people have to use that soap.
Yeah.
Don't be rubbing that soap in your booty and private parts.
Yeah.
Getting hair on it.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
I went through that phase.
Where you just use soap?
Yeah.
I have not. I've always used a washcloth. We were raised to use washcloths.
Yeah.
And I don't know who thought that it's poor to use that. No, honey, that's just called cleaning yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, no, that's not a poor thing. And so, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if anybody's rich, it's like, oh, no, that's a poor thing. No, honey, that's a clean thing.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's not a rich or a poor thing. That's just called hygiene.
Exactly.
That's what it's called. That'd be the same thing as somebody saying, hey, if you use a toothbrush, that's a poor thing. You need to just brush your teeth with your finger.
With your finger.
It's like, yeah, no. It's not how that works.
No.
So it's interesting. People are strange.
That's for sure. People are strange.
Yeah, people are strange. So there's.
Speaking of strange people, so obviously everybody's heard about this. The Diddy and Cassie trial has been ongoing for like a week or a week and a half or something.
I think they just finished the first week of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was gonna read what Tristan wanted me to go. You wanted me to ask, go through what the charges were.
Yeah.
Really quick, just as a reminder for people who are not following it. So, oh wait a minute, I had to open up like 3 of these because I couldn't find it. Okay, hang on. So let me find it really quick. So, oh my gosh, I just had it.
Why didn't you save it?
I got it here. I have like 3 of them. Okay, so he's charged with racketeering conspiracy, 2 charges of sex trafficking, and 2 charges of transportation to engage in prostitution.
Mm-hmm.
That's what. So it says many of the most severe allegations relate to the racketeering conspiracy charge. And this includes accusations of kidnapping, drugging, and coercing women into sexual activities, sometimes using firearms or threats of violence.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So that's the conspiracy. The racketeering is the most severe charge that he's going to have. And the sex trafficking, of course.
But I've seen a lot of people saying that they don't see how it could possibly be racketeering. Or
well, was he getting money? That, if you're getting paid,
look up the definition of racketeering.
Oh my goodness. I thought you were supposed to be doing all this,
I looked up the definition a few minutes ago and I forgot it.
Oh my gosh. It is it's illegal activities aimed at commercial profit that may be disguised as legitimate business deals. So this could be by using fraud, extortion, bribery, threats, violence, or or other illegal means. Yeah. So.
Okay, but.
So if you're, so yeah, But what it includes the act or threat of murder, kidnapping, gambling, arson, robbery, bribery, extortion. If he was bribing people, if he was threatening people, which he did.
Yeah.
To keep quiet. I'm sure he did bribe people because he had people on camera.
Yeah.
Extorted money from them, paid to pay him off.
Mm-hmm.
So that he didn't. He probably could control an individual's, multiple people's careers.
Mm-hmm.
Because he had them recorded at these freak offs.
Yeah.
Thousands and thousands of videotape.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's a form of, by that definition, that's a form of bribery, which would fall under racketeering, and you're extorting money from them, I'm sure, in some form,
Yeah.
So yeah, just under that alone. And look how many years he was probably doing that.
A long time.
Yeah. Yeah. And we just probably heard about it. It just came to light, through after Cassie, filed the lawsuit. But it's been going on before he met her.
I've seen a lot of people saying and arguing that this is what everyone in the entertainment industry does.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. Yeah. He just got caught.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've been doing that. That's the whole thing. Like in Hollywood, this has been going on since Hollywood started. They've been doing this for a long time. Since decades and decades and decades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But Diddy let power go to his head, and Diddy's just evil. I don't even know what other word to describe him, man. He's sick too. He's got some sickness in him that, he just it's just like, oh my gosh.
Well,
and that what frustrates me to no end is like, I like his music.
Yeah.
It's like him and R. Kelly. It's like, man, y'all are sick, but everything that Diddy like made is great.
Yeah, he's one of the best.
I know, and it's like, man, you sick as I don't know what, man.
I know.
Oh, it just frustrates me to no end.
Yeah.
Really
Well, it's
does.
interesting that the defense has basically been saying, like, we know he's a terrible person.
Yeah,
We know he's a bad guy,
yeah.
but he's not being charged for being an a-hole.
No, he's not.
You know.
That's the truth. Yeah,
That is true.
that is very true. Yes, yeah, he's not. He's not. He's not on trial for being physically abusive
Or for being a freak.
or for being a freak.
Yeah. I mean, I guess technically kind of is, but
Kind of, yes,
I'm
but
saying, but his proclivities are not on trial. I guess.
yeah, the sexual, like,
Yeah.
a little bit, but they are, but it's the racketeering and
Yeah.
it's the sex trafficking. So in a way, yes, it is like his sexual, but they're building up the case like this is what he's capable of doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because they can't prove like he, like with the sex act with like the male escorts and like what he would watch them do, and it's just like, oh my god.
Well, I've seen
It's
I've
like
seen a lot of
crazy.
people argue against it being sex trafficking because they were in a relationship, right? They were boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yeah, they were.
And so their argument would be, well, she's agreeing to do all of this. Like, yeah, we're going to these places and we're having sex with paying to have sex with these people and whatever else, but to them, and I guess from his perspective, this was consensual,
And I think it's
which in their eyes would make it not sex trafficking because she's saying that she wants to do this and that
Yeah.
she likes this and
she did admit she did admit in the beginning, she said she did agree to try the freak offs in the beginning of the relationship because I mean she was in love with him. Like she did love him, but she's in an extremely emotional and mentally abusive and physically abusive relationship with him for a very long time.
yeah.
And so there was a trauma bond that developed between her and Diddy. That's why people were like, well, why wouldn't she just leave the relationship? Well, it's not that she didn't want to leave the relationship. But the thing, when a trauma bond develops between somebody, like in her situation with him, it was hard to leave because he would be like really manipulative and he would groom her and he would do all these things, but then he would be nice and loving and, that part of her that fell in love with him, he would show her and then he would turn on a dime. And that's how, and if you have multiple years of that, that's a trauma bond.
Yeah.
So yeah, she loved him and she did those things that she wanted him to do, even though she didn't really want to do them.
Mm-hmm.
And so if people don't understand what a trauma bond is, they're just like, well, she could have left and she must have liked it and she did it for the money. Well, no, I mean, you're not understanding what trauma is.
Mm-hmm.
So, she agreed to it, but there's a lot of underlying trauma there too.
Yeah, but
Why?
just in terms of the legality part,
Well,
do you
yeah.
think with her consenting to do these things, them being in a relationship, couldn't they argue that, well, this isn't sex trafficking at all then?
But was he sex trafficking other people?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I guess he was paying for prostitutes or whatever, or
Yeah. Because it's not just about her. Like everybody knew that they were in a relationship. Well, we're talking about the other people that are involved in here that you're not hearing about.
Yeah.
Because there were other people that were being flown in.
Yeah.
To his different residences and wherever.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just particularly her.
Yeah, but see, that part I don't see a problem with. That particular part. Because I've seen plenty of people, rappers and famous people, talk about flying women out just for that. And a lot of times they're probably paying them.
Yeah, but though they may only be showing or telling you about the women that are agreeing to it. There could be underage
Oh well, yeah. Well, that would be a problem.
There could be underage individuals that are also being flown in that they can't tell you about that because it's illegal.
Yeah.
And then if there's witnesses that are like, well, no, they have witnesses that are like, no, there were underage people there.
Yeah.
That's sex trafficking.
Well, yeah, that obviously is a huge
That's
problem.
why. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot more than just like, and I do probably believe that there were underage people there, even though he's on video saying, hey, get rid of your kids and all this, they, can't be here. No, you're trying to say that on film so that you're trying to cover yourself. Mm-hmm. Believe me, he's a deviant.
Yeah.
And he had underage people there. I'm pretty sure.
It's possible.
It's highly likely he did.
Yeah.
I can't prove it, but I wouldn't put it past somebody who is characterized the way she's characterizing him.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's, and it's not just her, it's like multiple people that have seen it, Mm-hmm. So yeah. But I don't know. There, I do, like, she's not completely, I get it. Like, she's not completely innocent in this either because she did participate.
Yeah.
Yeah. There is but she's admitted to it. She's not denying that she didn't. And she's not denying that she didn't agree to these freak offs either.
Mm-hmm.
There is but people can't, be like, well, they can't minimize the abuse piece of this. Yeah. And if you've been abused and if you've been beaten and if you tell somebody, no, I don't want to do that, you don't want to go through the abuse of saying no. Mm-hmm. Because he was probably dismissive about it. And then he probably would beat her if she didn't want to do it. And she probably didn't want to go through it. So she just did it after a while. Mm-hmm. She was open in the beginning, but then after a while, she's like, I don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah.
Hence the 2016 video when she walked out of a freak off.
Yeah.
And was leaving. And then he ran after her and was beating her. I mean, that's a perfect example of.
And she didn't leave. She walked back to the room too after that.
Yeah.
She didn't want to get beat. I mean, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point. Like that.
Well, she probably feared for her life too.
Yeah, exactly. Like if she even had her own apartment in New York, but he would, if she tried to break up with them, because they would be on breaks, and he would show up at her apartment and she testified to that. Mm-hmm. And he would not leave her alone.
Yeah.
I mean, they were both jealous of each other, I believe. And it was an extremely toxic and abusive relationship on all levels, Yeah. And when you got drugs involved in it on both sides, she was doing drugs, he was using drugs, alcohol. That's just a recipe for disaster and abuse and everything.
Yeah.
It doesn't excuse it, but yeah, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very interesting trial.
Yeah, a big indictment that people have put on her is that when she was in a relationship with Kid Cudi, I think.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I guess he had hit her up while she was in a relationship.
Yeah.
And she went and had some activities with him while she was in a relationship with someone else.
Yeah.
Which I guess people are saying, oh, well, obviously she wanted this.
No, but when she was with Cudi or talking to him or whatever, she was like on a break with Diddy or something like that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know
well, they were saying this is according to her.
Yeah.
But that's why he had threatened to like burnt his car or some kind of stuff.
I think he did. His car did like blow up
or something. Yeah. And so, yeah, I mean, that doesn't mean that people can't make mistakes in relationships when they're younger. I mean, it's just, how old was she? 20 whenever he started dating her or something like that?
Yeah, in her early 20s.
I mean, brain is still developing, can't do deductive reasoning in the brain. I mean, not an excuse, but I'm just saying, I mean, he wanted to control her, which he did. He groomed her. He controlled her.
Yeah.
He abused her. And I'm sure there was times she rebelled and she didn't want to be with him. And I mean, and then she wanted to be with him because she loved him. And then she was trauma bonded to him. And I mean, it was just a back and forth. But I don't think that they're trying to discredit her.
Yeah.
But I don't believe that. I mean, I believe everything that she's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Happen. I mean, you've already been paid out. So what reason would you have to
Send him to
lie?
Yeah.
I
Well, yeah.
mean, she even admitted that she knew that whenever she filed the lawsuit, it was going to ruin his career. I
Mhm.
mean, she did admit to that.
Yeah.
So this is, I think, even with her saying that, it was about healing, and she wanted people to know what was really going on.
Mm-hmm.
So, but even after that, she was still. This is what I'm talking about with the trauma bond, because even after that, like, she was still in contact with him.
Yeah.
So, like, he would text her and she would text him, but it was like because she still cared. That's that
Yeah.
trauma. That's the trauma bond. That's what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
even after people they know that this is not a good person and they've been through terrible things with him, they still feel some kind of way about them, like it's not healthy.
Yeah, but
you know?
in the eyes of the law, wouldn't that see that as her being complicit?
No, I don't think so.
If she
I don't
keeps,
know if the
if
law
she
would see
keep,
them as being complicit if you're talking to somebody or texting with someone after the fact. It's not complicit in that. I don't think so.
not necessarily complicit, but just the fact that she kept going back to him or kept communicating with him.
No, not
That
if they
she, you know,
I think if people understand trauma, no. People who don't understand trauma would think that, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't think the court understands trauma.
I know, that's why they would say that.
You know, yeah.
That's why they would say that. That's why they would need to have like that's why it's always important for people to undergo like psychiatric evaluations and things like that, which I think she did do therapy and counseling
Mm-hmm.
to testify for them because they understand trauma. And that's why the court has people like that come in, because the court is just about the law.
Yeah.
That's why they have people that come in and do the mental health piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what she was. It's a trauma bond.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think he's gonna go to prison?
Probably, yeah. I don't know for how long though. Do you think he's gonna go to
I mean,
prison?
it's
What do you think? Do you think he's gonna go to prison?
I think they'll get him on. I don't think they'll get him on. I feel like it's gonna be hard for them to actually prove the racketeering piece, maybe, because it's like I don't know if it's a RICO case or a racketeering case, or if it's all the same. If those two things mean the same thing, because it's supposed to be like you're using, like an enterprise, like doing illegal stuff and to gain profits or whatever for your
Right.
business or whatever.
I
don't know.
I don't think it's RICO. I think it's just a racketeering.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think it's RICO.
Well, I don't know. I don't think it says he could face up to life in prison. I don't think that'll happen.
No, I don't think he'll get life.
No.
I don't think he'll get life. Maybe 10 years.
Yeah, maybe something like that.
Maybe
I don't know.
10, maybe 10 to 20 years, maybe.
Yeah.
But I don't think that he'll. And then they might count what he's already done towards that sentence, and that he might get parole, and then he'll be out in 5.
Yeah.
I don't know, but who knows?
If let's say he's completely proved innocent, and that all the charges are not dropped, but he's innocent or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think his career won't ever be the same after this, no matter what? Right?
His career won't be the same, but he'll come out with some kind of album.
Yeah, probably.
Something called Redemption or something.
Redemption. That's exactly what it would be. Yeah.
Diddy's Redemption.
Yeah.
It'll be something like that.
That's exactly what it would be.
Bad Boy Redemption.
Yeah.
And who knows?
Yeah.
It'll be something weird.
It would be.
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I don't know. But what I found interesting was like his daughter showed up when they were talking about like they were in court, his twins that he had with Kim Porter. That, as they were talking about how he would masturbate while he watched Cassie with these male escorts. And I was like, I would never want my children in court while they're like, she's testifying to that. I
Yeah.
thought that was just
Well, I
so
think they left
crazy.
at some. They left.
They
at some
left
point.
after that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would, how uncomfortable. Those poor
Mhm.
girls,
What do you think? I don't know if you've seen
So
like
weird.
the videos of his sons on the internet or whatever, but they're like really like super in support of their dad and
Of
saying that
course.
he's innocent. What do you think about that?
I mean, I would not expect them not to be
Yeah.
in support of him.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, it is their dad. Like, that's all they know.
That's true.
I mean, it's their dad. It's still, I think what we have to recognize is that it's still their family.
Mhm.
Okay. We just see it as, oh, that's Diddy,
Yeah.
and we don't know the family dynamics. We know the things that he has done. We don't know him as dad
Yeah.
with his kids. Okay. We know him as the mogul. We know him as his relationship with Cassie. We don't know him how he is with his daughters, with his sons. We don't know. We just know what his persona on television and how he's interacted with them. We don't know what goes on behind closed doors with his kids.
Yeah.
We just don't know. People are different.
Yeah, that's true.
And so we can't judge him on that. We can't.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't. But we just know what we're reading in the news and what they're testifying to. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure his sons and his daughters have a completely different relationship with him,
Yeah.
and they see him in a completely different light. So why would they not be supportive of him? They love their dad,
Yeah.
regardless of what people are saying. They visited him. I mean, that's their dad at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's true.
You only get one set of parents.
Yeah.
They have already lost one. They've already lost their mother.
Mhm.
So, they don't want to lose their dad. I mean,
Yeah, that's true.
I think people have to look at it that way, and a lot of people don't. So,
Yeah, but a lot of people seem to have a problem with it.
I
Like his
know.
one
I know
son,
they do.
the one son that looks just like him,
Mm-hmm.
he like it was I think last year sometime maybe or early this year, he
Mm-hmm.
released like a diss track to the world saying that you can't mess with us, like you can't
Yeah.
mess with or whatever. I don't remember
Yes,
what he
yes.
was saying in the song, but it
Mhm.
was just like I mean, that's not necessary. That's crazy.
It's not necessary, no. But that's Diddy's kid. What do you expect? I
Yeah.
mean, no, he shouldn't have. But what do you do? I mean, people get upset over a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, freedom of speech.
Yeah, that's true.
Trump says a lot of things too that people are upset about. So what?
Yeah.
People have freedom of speech in this country. They can say what they want, can rap about what he wants, and people can take it however they're going to take it.
Mhm.
That's just how it is.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, yeah. The bottom line, end of the day, is still their dad. It doesn't matter how you feel about him, how I feel about him. What we think we know is the truth. That's their dad.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah. Be the same thing if I was going through it and I was on TV and I had all this stuff going on. You would still love me.
Yeah, of course.
Because I'm your mother. It's the same for them.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, it doesn't matter what we think or feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people in those situations like they have like PR teams
Mm-hmm.
that'll tell
They
you
do.
like
Yes.
you need to stay away from this, like don't say anything about it.
Yes.
Don't be in support or whatever,
Yeah.
to just stay away from it and keep your hands clean from it. But
Mhm.
obviously they don't have a PR team, so they're just going to support their dad
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. And I mean, that's fine. I mean, they can and they should, So, I mean, the truth is going to come out regardless.
Yeah.
It always does. So, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah. All this was just from I saw a video of O.J. Simpson when he was doing an interview with somebody. Do you remember this? He like did a prank on the interviewer where he opened the door and he pretended that he had a knife and he was stabbing.
No,
You haven't seen that?
not see that.
You haven't
Is it
seen
on
that?
YouTube?
Yeah, I'm sure you can find
Oh
it
my
on
gosh,
the internet.
I have got to see
But it's a
that.
video of like after he was, proven innocent
No,
or whatever.
I have not.
And they were interviewing him, and he opened the door about to go to the interview, and he's pretending to stab the interviewer.
I haven't seen that.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, I'll have to watch that because I haven't seen it.
It's hilarious.
Oh wow.
And then right after that, he's like, "Nope, I didn't do it. Nope, nope.
Oh my gosh.
Sorry, wasn't me." It's so crazy.
I gotta see that. That's gonna be funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Oh, OJ.
He wrote a book.
Yeah, he's wrote several, hasn't he?
If I Did It.
Yeah, I know that book.
Yeah.
Didn't he write another one?
I don't know if he wrote another one.
If I Did It.
Yeah.
It's like, OJ, sit down somewhere.
I think they banned it everywhere. I don't know if you can even buy it now.
I don't want to buy it. He's just going to recreate the scene.
Yeah. It is kind of crazy when you think about it. Like, why would you write a book called If I Did It? I'm interested to read it now. I'm going to see
because it's double jeopardy because he was acquitted of murder and you can't be retried.
Yeah.
That's why he did it.
You just wanted to brag.
That's why he wrote the book. You cannot be charged for the same crime twice.
But they did get him later on for something, which
I
think a lot of people have said this with the Diddy thing is that he's gotten away with so much stuff.
Yeah.
In the past, like the justice system or whatever has an interest in getting him on something.
Something, yeah.
I
believe
which
that.
is what I think they did with OJ. Because what did he like? He was taking his like old memorabilia back or something.
Oh yeah, they got him on that. They tried to get him on robbery and all.
Yeah,
that. It's like, man, that's.
But that they did. They wanted him. They couldn't get him on the murder.
Right.
But they felt like they had to get him for something.
They had to get him for something. Yeah.
Yeah. Which I don't think that's necessary. That's not. I don't think that's really with the Diddy case at all. But a lot of people have been saying that they feel like they just have to get him for something because he's gotten away with so much in the past.
But that it's always interesting that they do that with black men, because there's a lot of white men that get away with a lot of stuff and they don't be trying to go after them.
That's true.
I'm just saying, there's a double standard in this country.
Yeah.
There always has been and there always will be, and I understand that. I'm a realist, but. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. But in other news, and I posted it on our Tay and Tristan podcast on our Instagram page. And I got it off of another TikTok. Somebody else that I saw on TikTok, and they did it of the Nottoway plantation burning down.
I heard something about this. What is that?
And it was the oldest plantation in Louisiana. It was built like in 1859. And a lot of people used it it was kind of like a museum. And it used to it was a sugarcane plantation. And it housed at one point, I think the most that it ever housed was like 200 slaves, or like 175. But I think at the height of it was like 200 slaves.
Mm-hmm.
And so it burnt to the ground.
Wow.
And so I posted something on our Tay and Tristan on our Instagram page, and got quite a few views. It's pretty funny. I laughed that it burnt to the ground. I think it's great, and I think a lot of black people are even some white people are celebrating that because it needs to be gone, and people. And
you don't think it should be preserved for history?
Hell no. There's enough plantations that are still preserved in the South, okay, in Georgia.
Here.
Yeah, even here we have Kingsley Plantation here in Jacksonville, Florida, that I've been to a couple of times, and I'm done. I visited it a couple times. I'm over it. And that was also a sugarcane plantation. Um, so yeah, I mean, there's still plantations that are standing. This plantation was just like they called it like the, what did they call it? I have it here.
Yeah, I was seeing
But
stuff about this on the internet. I didn't know what people were talking about.
shoot, there's people are like, yes, it's gone,
Yeah,
goodbye,
people
let
were
it
saying, "Oh yeah,
burn.
the ancestors came back and
Well,
our ancestors are rejoicing."
oh, what is so funny is that they said that they got the fire out and then it relit.
Oh my god,
So I'm sorry. I just find it funny.
that's crazy.
So yeah, but there were some people that were, complaining. They're like, "Oh my gosh, the architecture, it's burned. My favorite plantation burned down." First of all, why do people have
My
a
favorite plantation
right?
is crazy.
Exactly. First of all, why do you have a favorite plantation? And second of all, it was never about, the yeah, it was never about that. It was just, yeah. So, it was a resort and people could get married there. People would take pictures under the trees there on the plantation, and it was like you recognize, like, years ago people were hung from those trees. Slaves were hung and beaten and killed, and
Yeah,
like, there's nothing. I mean, it's a huge mansion. It has like 64 rooms in it. It was just enormous, and it was the largest, I believe, the largest plantation. Um, I want to say in Louisiana.
mhm,
I won't say, it may have been the largest one in the United States. I'm not sure,
yeah.
but it was huge. And so, yeah, I mean, goodbye. So yeah, I was not, yeah, there was people online celebrating it. And then there were, people that were very, so the owner, of course, wants to rebuild the plantation
Yeah. Well,
and
the
the
house.
house. Well, it's a plantation house,
Yeah.
you know, um, and of course he wants to rebuild it. Of course. The fact that you want to rebuild that says everything I need to know about you.
But at the same time, do you really see it as a problem if people want to, because it is an unfortunate, dark part of our history,
It's huge.
but you don't think that any of it should be preserved at all?
No, I do not.
You think they should all burn down?
Yes.
I mean, yeah. People were having this same kind of argument when they were started taking down statues of founders of America that were also happened to be slave owners.
Mm-hmm.
Um, People were really upset about that, and there's people that are saying, well, but they're historical figures. It's part of our history. Blah blah blah.
So here's the problem that I have with that statement, right? Because they want to preserve, like, when it comes to burn, like when plantation burns down, they're like, oh my gosh, we have to preserve history, but at the same time, they want to whitewash American history, and they want to take away, they want to try to remove things from, like, the African American Museum in Washington D.C. So no, you don't want to preserve history. No, you don't. You just want to keep these plantation homes.
But don't you think that those places are valuable places in the sense that people can go there and see what Black Americans actually went
But
through?
they're not going there for that. They're going there to take their wedding photographs and to have
Yeah,
weddings there. They're not
yeah, that's
going
true.
there to learn about African American history.
That's
That's
true.
not why they're going there. They have tours there, and there are people that have been on TikTok and other places that used to work there, and they would whitewash the history. They wouldn't talk about. They would talk about the architecture of the house and that it was built by slaves, but they wouldn't go into what those slaves were going through on that property.
Yeah.
They didn't go through that. They whitewash it. They sugarcoat it.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna have something like that, you need to tell the real history behind it,
Yeah.
like the raw history about it.
Mhm.
Every photograph I have seen, and anybody that goes to these plantation homes, it's not a lot of black people that go there.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so.
No. We've gone to Kingsley because Mom wanted to go see it.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, there's a huge tree out there. And the first thing I'm thinking, like, oh my gosh, how many people have been hung from this tree? That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah.
It's huge. And it's away from the main house. And it's like down by the slave quarters where all the slave homes were. And yeah, it's not a good place.
No.
And even the drive up to the house is not. It just gives you this feeling like, gosh, this is, and it's way back. If you tried to escape, especially through Kingsley, you're probably gonna get eaten by alligator, and it's so dark, pitch black out there. You couldn't get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
I couldn't even imagine. So, So yeah, I
But do
have
you
no
think-
sympathy for this play.
But
I laugh.
But what if?
I
But
have
what
no
if
sympathy for it.
what if the focus? What if these places focused more on educating people about that experience and making it less of just a destination to go to?
I think if they did that, it may be something different, but they're not doing it, and they won't. That's the honest truth.
Well, do you think a place like Auschwitz should burn down?
Have you ever seen, like, they still have that? Where, I mean, people have. It's like a museum, right?
Yeah,
Like,
it's a museum.
But they tell the story of it.
Yeah.
They actually tell the true story.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't whitewashed like it is over here in the United States.
Yeah,
They tell black people to get over slavery.
that's true. Yeah.
You hear the real story about the Holocaust and what truly happened
Mm-hmm.
in Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
They don't say that over here.
Yeah.
Everything is like, oh my gosh, it was over 400 years ago. Get over it. Okay, well, why you still got these plantation houses that are resorts?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah,
it's
turning
not,
something
it's
into
not a resort.
yeah, well, yeah, turning it into something like that for just a place to take pictures and have a picnic. No, that's crazy.
No, people go and get married there.
Yeah,
They have parties, and
but don't.
people are like, oh, you can come swim and you can go lay out. And no, these are places that have a sordid, dark history. People died. There are people, ancestors, and people that are living in Louisiana that are relatives of slaves from this plantation that are still living.
Yeah.
And you have people that are taking pictures up on the stairs and taking pictures underneath the trees where their ancestors were hung. And you think it's okay? And it's not okay.
That does look and sound crazy, but at the same time, don't you think, in a sense, in some cases, it's good to make something that was very dark into something good?
Do you?
I don't know. I guess it depends.
What would it have to depend on?
I don't know. Honestly, I'm just saying, like.
Well, you always ask me those questions. I want to hear what you say because you know what I'm going to say. You already know. So what do you think? Do you think that plantation had anything positive to offer anybody?
Probably not, no. But obviously it did. People were getting married there and having their ceremonies there.
It was an antebellum plantation where people were like, I want to go and have an antebellum tea party there.
But I'm
I
just
want to
saying,
have a wedding there. And it's not, that is not like that would be somebody saying like, I want to go get married at the concentration camp over there in Auschwitz.
yeah, that's when you put it that way, it's crazy.
That's what that is like.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. Nobody's getting married at Auschwitz.
No. And nobody would want to go and have a party there.
Yeah.
So why is it okay, not okay for one, and that's respected, and this is not?
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah.
So they don't tell the true history of slavery there. They never did. And that's why it burned down.
Yeah. Good.
Now they're investigating who burnt it or what happened, because that mother straight burnt to the ground.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, and people just stood there and watched it burn. It's like, you know.
It reminds me of I didn't know what people were talking about. I saw people posting about some a plantation burning down like on TikTok and Twitter and stuff.
Oh, go to our Tay and Tristan podcast. I posted it.
Yeah.
And Johnny's like, you posted that on there? And it's like the roof
Yeah.
is on fire. Boof, it's gone.
Yeah.
I have no ill will. I don't care.
But people were like posting like the picture, like
fine.
you remember the scene in Interview with the Vampire when the slaves
are all dancing.
Yeah, they're dancing and they burnt the house down. Yeah.
Yeah, they burnt it.
And people are like, these are the ancestors right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Their souls are set free.
Yeah. Yeah, when you
whether people believe that or not, their
Yeah.
souls are set free.
Yeah. When you put it like that, when you liken it to like a concentration camp or something, which it's the same thing.
Yes.
It's the same thing. Like, yeah, it's bad. Yeah.
Yeah, would you go get married there?
Absolutely not.
It's disrespectful.
It is.
It's one thing to keep something as a museum,
Mm-hmm.
but to turn it and say that it's a resort and you can have dinner there. We have a restaurant here and, you know, and I mean, that you are disrespecting the memory of all of the slaves that built that home,
Mm-hmm.
served the masters, were beaten, killed. They were brutalized.
Yeah.
And you think it's okay for people to get married there and take pictures there and talk about how beautiful the architecture is? Give me a break. I don't feel sorry for the owners of that place because y'all are going to get good insurance payout, you know, and then try to rebuild it. You know what I'm saying? The fact you want to rebuild that says, like I said, tells me everything I need to know about you. And then the fact that people are like, well, we're non-racist. The fact that you have to say that you're non-racist tells me everything I need to know about you as well. So, I mean, that's just
But at the same time, they're probably they probably don't care about any of that. They're just trying to run a business.
Yeah, the fact that you want to run a business from a plantation home, once again, tells me everything I need to know about you and your character and what you're trying to
when
do.
you think about it, you're literally profiting off of the backs of slaves.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Still, after all these years.
Yeah, still.
After all this time.
Yeah.
So the fact that people will say, well, there's no more slavery, that's a lie. There is slavery in a certain sense still. But the fact that people will say there's no racism is a lie.
Yeah.
There is. There always will be till that we're no longer here.
Yeah.
But I was happy to see it burn, honey. And I have no qualms about it.
Yeah.
It made me happy. I was like, damn. I was like, Johnny, check this out.
Oh my God. What if that's somebody like going around the country just burning down plantations? Like Harriet Tubman, but burning the plantations.
Well,
down.
more power to him. Yeah. I mean, I just would not. And people are like, well, that's erasing history. No, you know, it's like, why does the plantation have to symbolize the history of it? People know it's in the history books.
Mm-hmm.
We all know it. Why do we have to have that? Why do you have to have why do you have to have a home to know that slavery happened?
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you don't ban and burn books, you know that. You know, if you didn't take African American history out of the colleges and universities, you'd know that.
Yeah.
You know, you don't try to defund historically black colleges and universities and try to take the African American history curriculum out of all universities, you will know this. You know, I mean, people need to know it. And they always called it critical race theory being taught in the schools, which is a bunch of crap. Yeah. So they just don't want to teach the history, and that's the whole problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's an ugly past, but it's the United States of America's past.
Well, what do you think about people wanting them to take down statues of historical figures? This was something they were talking about like over the last few years, but it kind of ties in with that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the statue still being up. I mean, you can leave them up or whatever.
I think they wanted to take. Did they take down the statue of Andrew Jackson downtown, or is it still up there?
I don't know. I thought that they took it down.
I don't remember if they did or not.
I don't remember if they took it down or not. I think that to me, I think it's a reminder of our ugly past, and I think people want to move past it. I don't care. I think you can leave the statues up because people need to know like these. But I don't. I think it's the context and how you are. Um, what's the word I'm looking for? I think it's how you're portraying who they
You're
are.
representing.
Right.
Yeah.
Like don't represent these individuals as heroes and like they were great people. No, be honest about who they are.
Yeah.
Like you can leave the statue up, but rephrase who they are. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
don't
they may have been
yeah.
founders of this country, but they
Yeah.
also had slaves.
Yes, exactly. Be true about who they are.
Yeah.
Leave the statues up, but be honest about who they are and what they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think you have to I don't think you have to do that. It's just be honest.
Mm-hmm.
And people don't want to be honest about it because it makes them uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It's just how it is, you know, but we're living in a time now where I wouldn't have ever thought we would have to have this conversation about race anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ever think it, but I guess we are.
Yeah, I mean, when you think about it, slavery was not that long ago.
It was not.
It ended in 1865.
Yeah.
Just over 100, less than 200 years.
Yeah, exactly.
The civil rights movement was
in the 60s.
Yeah.
So it wasn't that
60
long.
years
It wasn't
ago.
that long ago.
Yeah.
It was not that long ago. And people are like, just get over it. Well,
they were still lynching people in the South.
and they will still lynch them now if they could.
Yeah.
Just saying. That's the honest truth, and people don't like it because it makes them very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it's the absolute truth. So this is why I say, man, people just need to be, people need God. They need Jesus Christ in their life, and they just do.
Yeah.
I want to be happy. I do. I don't even trip off of it. It's just, I just speak the truth.
Yeah.
It's my opinion. But I was happy to see it go.
I wonder if they'll rebuild it and make it like an exact replica of what it was.
Oh,
before.
they're absolutely going to try.
Yeah.
And I hope somebody else burns it down.
That'd be crazy if they burned it down twice.
Yeah. You may not want to rebuild that. You know?
No.
I don't think that would be a wise decision to do that. Another ancestor may come and burn it down again.
Yeah.
I think you should leave well enough alone.
Yeah, I agree.
Seriously, I don't think that would be a good idea. But you can't, people will do what they want to do, but it is.
I didn't know that they were doing that at plantations where they are making it a resort. That's crazy.
That's what Nottoway was. It's a resort. You can get married at these plantations. Yes.
Is it like you can stay there, you mean? Like a resort like that?
Like a resort where you can get married. You could probably stay there.
I mean, but sure. A resort is like a hotel that has like
Nottoway was a resort. It said it was a plantation and resort. So a resort is where you could probably stay there to have dinners, get married. Yes. You could probably stay. Yes, you were able to stay in some of the rooms, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here I can get dressed in this room. They were taking pictures in the rooms. And it's like, yeah, a slave was raped and beaten in that room, probably killed in that room. It's like, think a little bit more about besides your own selfishness.
Yeah.
It's just like, have some respect. Seriously. Just people don't have any respect for anything anymore.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't even know why I'm surprised. I should not be surprised by this anymore, but people just turn it up a notch.
Yeah.
But yeah, yes, you can.
People talk about like reparations and if black people should receive reparations. I think I feel like giving people the land that their ancestors were on as slaves, like a piece of it at least, I feel like that'd be a good step. If they were actually going to do something like that, I feel like that's a good idea.
Yeah, they should. It'd be a step in the right direction for sure. But then they'd be like, well, then I'd have to give money. No, that greed gets in the way of that.
Yeah.
People ain't giving up that no land, I'm sorry. They won't give it up to African Americans.
Yeah.
They will give it up to South Afrikaners.
Yeah.
Yes, they will do that.
I'm surprised. I mean, I guess because they were like, I was just thinking about how they did with the Native Americans, and they put them on reservations, gave them a certain amount of land, gave
Yeah,
them money or whatever.
absolutely.
I guess it's different with plantations because it's like a privately owned like property.
Property, yes.
I guess
Yeah.
so. I guess it's a little different. But I guess when I think about it, they actually kind of did do that. In, I mean, not really, but there were sharecroppers.
Yeah.
So, they stayed on the. I mean, I guess they didn't own the land. They were just farming the land.
it. They were farming the land. They didn't give them it to own.
Yeah.
Right. No.
40 acres and a mule.
Yeah, they didn't give them their 40 acres.
Yeah.
Mule.
Yeah, that would have been their our reparations, I guess.
That's what they were supposed to get, but they didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because Lincoln was assassinated.
Is that why?
I think so, yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
They were like, yeah. It's just crazy, But, it's just, it will always be an inequality in this world, and there just always will be.
Yeah.
Whether it is with race or gender, it's just there's always going to be one group that thinks that they are more superior than the other. It's just, unfortunately, that is just how it's always going to be. So
Yeah.
we just really have to kind of live our lives the best way that we can and be happy and do what we need to do, and just love and respect each other the best way that we can. And the people that we can't love and respect, just stay the heck out of my way. Just, seriously, you don't like me, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
If I don't like you, I ain't gonna talk to you.
Well, there you go.
I mean, it's really that simple.
Yeah.
It really is. That's just, you heard about the two guys that dressed up as KKK that got killed in Atlanta?
No.
Yeah.
I didn't hear
That
about
happened
that.
a couple weeks ago. They went into the black neighborhood.
Well, that was dumb.
They went into a neighborhood in Atlanta and dressed as two KKK members, and they got killed.
Well, no one
I wouldn't
should
play
be,
around with that.
Yeah, no one should be surprised by that. I mean,
they seem to be surprised.
What do you expect to happen?
Well, they thought it was funny, and they seemed to think that, I don't know what they thought. I really don't know, but they're not alive. And that's unfortunate because that did not have to happen.
No, not at all.
And I don't know if that's somebody's trying to start a race war or what's happening, but this is, people don't fall for it. That's all I'm going to say. Just don't fall for it.
Charlie Manson did say there was going to be a race war.
Yeah. I mean, oh my gosh, she's speaking from the grave. The thing is, yeah, like it's just, don't fall for it. Don't fall into the trap.
Yeah.
Seriously, just mind your own damn business. Seriously.
It's that simple.
People just,
I've seen a lot of this thing going, people talking about black fatigue.
yes.
Have you
I've
heard this? People
yes.
saying this on the internet?
Yeah.
That's just like, it's like, it just blows my mind. Like people just
what?
outwardly saying like, we're just tired of black people.
Yeah. Well, when you have somebody in the office, like I said, that emboldens that, this is what we get. And it's just what people have been wanting to say for the longest time. And now you have somebody in the White House that's saying, go ahead and say it.
Yeah.
That's it. That is just it. That's how it is, and it's unfortunate because there's a lot of people that just don't, on both sides, black and white, Hispanic, they just don't want to hear that anymore. They just don't want to. People don't want to live. This is not the freaking 1960s. Nobody wants to deal with that.
Yeah.
Maybe people from the 1960s do, but I don't. A lot of people just don't. There's just, yeah, black fatigue.
Yeah, that's so
Well,
crazy.
if you're black for teeth, then go sit down somewhere else.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, then don't try to appropriate any of our culture, and don't try to go make your bland food and whatever
Yeah.
else you're gonna go do, and you don't have to worry about black people because black people are not worried about white people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just don't understand it.
I don't either.
It's just like
It's so crazy.
it really is. We don't have to be like there should not be this division, but like I said, we have somebody in the White House that's causing it. That's the bottom line. And it's yeah. I love white people, black people, Asian people. I don't care. If you're nice and respectful and you treat me the same, I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care what color you are.
No.
I really don't. But there's the race issue and conversations are conversations that people need to be having. I don't care if it makes them uncomfortable. It's the truth, and it's just what we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
It is. But I ain't mad or angry at anybody. It's just I'm just a nice, laid back, loving person.
Just let it be.
Let it be. Let it be. Who made that song? The Beatles?
Yeah. Or was it just John Lennon?
Was it John Lennon or was it you should know.
No, I think it's a Beatles song.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, I was going to ask you, what happened to the rug we're supposed to get?
Oh, my goodness. I don't know.
We're supposed to be redoing this whole feng shui thing in this room, and nothing's getting done.
Well, it's just a rug. We'll get a rug.
It's just a rug. He was supposed to order it off of Etsy, and I ain't seen nothing yet.
Well, we're still looking.
Oh, no. He's supposed to be looking because I got the chairs. So we're still waiting.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
we'll get it to him.
Yeah. So I think that's all I wanted to talk about today. I need to make my chicken.
Well, go make your chicken.
I'm making some honey sesame chicken.
Yeah.
But I don't have any sesame seeds. But I don't like sesame seeds, though.
Just forget the sesame seeds.
No, I'm trying to figure out what I want to make with it.
Well, I'm going to go eat some leftover taco meat. That's what I'm going to eat.
I thought you took that for lunch.
No, I decided not to. I got Panera.
What'd you have at Panera?
So, a customer actually, like a couple months ago, gave me a $50 Panera gift card.
What?
A customer whose house I've delivered to like for years.
That is not even right.
They gave me a $50 Panera gift card. And they have these new, first of all, Panera's menu right now sucks because they got rid of a bunch of stuff that was really good.
Yeah.
But they have these limited time sandwiches that are on like a croissant bread. It's like a regular slice of bread, but it's like a croissant. And they have one that has ham, provolone, Asiago, and like this Gruyere and onion spread or something.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Obviously, I took that off because I hate onions.
Not my child.
But yeah, I got that and I put mayo on it instead, but I don't think they put the mayo.
You eat mayo?
I love mayo.
You like mayo, but you don't like onion.
That's completely different. It's not even in the same category in any way. It's completely different. Yes, I like mayo and don't like onions. Yeah. Of course.
I had to make it weird.
Yeah. Every time I go in Panera, I feel like they're like annoyed by me. Why? Or just annoyed in general. Because the way I customize my sandwiches, I feel like they're just like annoyed.
What do you do to your
sandwiches? Because so I got Panera the other day because again I have the gift card. So I start with a grilled cheese, but you can customize any sandwich whatever way you want.
Yeah.
So I customize the grilled cheese. It's just bread and American cheese. I change the bread. I make it sourdough. Okay. I put steak on it, and I put feta and white cheddar cheese on it.
Ooh, feta.
Yeah, it was actually pretty good.
Isn't feta goat cheese?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, so you will not eat onion, but you'll.
Oh my god, it's completely different.
But you'll eat goat cheese.
It's completely different. It's a nice tangy cheese. I think it was my first time ever. Well, maybe not my first time eating feta, but first time ever on a sandwich like that. I might have had it in a salad
So
one
strange.
time. But
I don't even know. I don't even know you. I don't know you
it's
at
good.
all.
But I like blue cheese
No,
too.
if you're my child.
I like blue cheese too. I love blue cheese.
I don't think you're my child.
Oh my god, whatever.
I just switched the babies at the hospital.
Oh my god, that's bull crap.
Ow! I just don't understand. You don't eat like anything I eat.
That's not true. I eat potato skins and freaking.
I don't even eat potato skins anymore.
Well, you did all the time.
I stopped eating them because I have to lose weight. So I just don't eat them anymore.
Yeah. We're gonna wrap it up here. You guys don't care about our diet or what we're eating.
No, you really don't. This is a conversation we'll have off camera.
But thank you guys for watching. Go follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, whatever else we're on. The Tay and Tristan Hour or Tay and Tristan Hour podcast. Just type in Tay and Tristan, and I'm sure it'll come up.
Yes,
whatever platform you're using.
It will come up. Yes, it will. So, and this has been episode number 54 of the Tay and Tristan Hour.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to share our content on YouTube and to also subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yeah, and hit the notification bell.
Yes, please hit the notification bell.
Yeah.
I always forget to say
that. We've never said it before.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. Because I always forget to say that.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely do that. So
yeah.
We appreciate everybody's everybody who's following us on Instagram on both pages. And we thank you for following us on YouTube as well. So.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching.
Peace.
See you next week.
Bye, guys.